Hi, coaches. It's really tempting for us to all go out there and create a Facebook community, the groups. And in this video, I'm going to share with you a whole bunch of reasons why you really ought to consider not doing that. Okay. Now, a few years ago, I would have said something different. A few years ago, I would have argued for you to go out there and create yourself a Facebook group. But there are many reasons today why you should not. I know there are lots of people on Facebook showing you and explaining to you that you should have a Facebook group, and it sounds obvious, and I'm just going to go through some of their arguments, and then I'm going to turn those arguments on their head, and hopefully by the end of this you're going to go, right, okay, I'm not going to have a Facebook group anymore. So to let you know, I had a Facebook group. I've had a couple of big ones, I'll say fairly big ones, and it's also on the engagement side as well. So a number of years ago, until I sold my business, I had a Facebook group of must have been 6,000 people. Now bear in mind that only 39,000 in my niche, so you can consider that to be huge because of the size of the niche. And it went great, did really well. And but I sold the business in 2019, so let it go then. That was a long time ago, 4 years ago from here. And more recently, I had a group of 2,200 life coaches in a group which was fairly active, and I gave it away. So if you're thinking, oh yeah, okay, this guy's telling me not to have Facebook groups, I'm telling you right now, I've had 2 decent Facebook groups. One I sold as a part of my business, and the other one I gave it away. So I think that's something important to share. I suppose I should have also shared my name. My name's David Paul from Going Beyond the Illusion. There we go. Don't always get things in order. So the business coaches, the social media coaches out there are giving you a few reasons as to why you should have a Facebook group. Number one, they're saying it's rapport. Number two, they're saying it becomes easier for you to sell, and that these people will just buy from you. They are the 2 principal reasons. The third one is that they say it's organic and people will just start finding you and getting involved and joined in. And the fourth one is they're saying that you can then grab their email addresses and do email lists with them and keep in touch with them. And they're the 4 principal reasons. And they're saying, look, this is easy. Everybody uses Facebook and what have you not. Okay. I'm going to share with you the reasons why I think it's a complete waste of time and money. It also burns through your hope quite a lot as well. So listen in. First of all, what I'm going to say to you could apply to other social media platforms. So you might be thinking, oh, I need to be on LinkedIn or wherever. No. The biggest problem, in my opinion, is the fact that it's free. There's no commitment to you from them, and there's no real commitment to them. That's probably the biggest problem, because what you're trying to do here is to sell your services, and it's far more difficult to take somebody from free without commitment into buying something. And bear in mind, you're not asking for credit card details up front. You're not asking them to offer you a form of commitment before they can allow to jump into the group. So there's no commitment to themselves, and there's no commitment to you. And you're a coach, and it's coaching 101. If they are to make a transformation, then they need to make a commitment. If they can't make a commitment, the chances of the transformation taking place through the floor. So I ask this of you. If that person is not prepared to pay you $1 a day, so let's say $31 for the month, then they're never going to buy from you. So my argument, or one of my parts of the argument to saying no to free Facebook groups, is Ask people for $1 a day. Come and join my private group. Doesn't matter where you host it. We recommend WhatsApp, but that's another video for another day. If they're not prepared to pay you $1 a day, don't expect them to be prepared to pay you $500 or $5,000 for your services. Makes sense, right? So what do you want? Do you want 1,000 people in your free Facebook group, or massaging your ego and not spending anything, or spending very little? Or do you want, let's say, a group of, let's say, 30 people, all paying you $1 a day, $1,000 a month, and let's say 3 or 4 of those people are paying you $1,000, $1,500, whatever it is a month to do some life coaching with you. I'm just talking low numbers, but that's the deal, right? The next thing I want to ask you about, so that's the free, and if you want to take them from free to paying you $1,000, at least ask them for $1, right? So that's the first part of the argument. Second part of the argument is this: how are you going to get them into the group? You see, back in the good old days, you could just send friend requests to anybody. Everybody would accept friend requests, and then you just plop them in the group. Didn't even need their permission. Just click on that person's name, and they go straight into the group. In the good old days. But today, of course, it's all permission based, which is better. But how are you going to get them into the group? You're going to speak to people, aren't you? You're going to drop the messages. Hey, do you want to come join my new group? So why can't you say, hey, I've got this exciting group and we deal with this. It's $1 a day. You're interested? You're still taking the same amount of time. You're taking the same amount of time to go and speak to somebody about joining a Facebook group as you are with going out there and asking somebody if they're ready to pay you $1 a day as part of some sort of group coaching program. And you might be thinking, nobody's going to pay $31 a month to be in a group coaching program when they can get it for free. Well, in that case, then why offer group coaching? Why offer group coaching at all? Of course, people pay for group coaching. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people pay for group coaching, masterminds, and all the rest of it. There's a big lot of you out there that do it for free. I don't know why you do it for free. And maybe it's a personal issue you have with yourself. That's another matter. You need to speak to somebody like Rob Yates from Going Beyond the Illusion on that one. But as I said, why get them into a free group and then try and upsell if they're not prepared to pay $1 a day? And then going out to go and find these people just takes the same sort of time, right? Oh, of course, the business coaches will say, yes, but the Facebook groups can be organic. Facebook groups can be organic, and we start to make these proposals of, come and join this group. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. There's very, very little organic stuff like that going on. But you've already got a free organic tool anyway. That's called your personal profile. That's organic. And it's organic. Why? Because Facebook say to you, hey, do you know these people as well? Do you know these 8 people? Do you know these 25 people? So Facebook's organic as well. That's interesting, isn't it? You don't really need a free Facebook group. So you're probably going to say to me, David, okay, I kind of understand this argument, but how can I get to know people? How can people start to find out about me? Well, what do you do already? You probably go and sit in other people's groups, right, and talk in their groups. Continue doing that. That's what you do. Other ways. It doesn't have to be everything. Everything doesn't have to be focused on social media, does it? Everything doesn't have to be on Facebook, but that's another video for another day. But if you're used to talking to people in other Facebook groups, go and keep on talking to them in other Facebook groups. Do what you're currently doing. I'm not going to talk about the strategy of that right now. But one of the first things that you do is send them a friend's request, right? Hey, this is what I do. Do you want to get involved? Etc. 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 You can even have a pinned post on your Facebook personal profile account now, can't you? Well, that's cool. That's cool. You can change the banner. You can have a pinned post. And if you really want to, you can tell Facebook that my personal profile is a professional profile. And that's really good. So why do we need Facebook groups? I mean, if you've got an established group already and, fine. If you're making money out of it, fine. I actually happen to know people who've got established groups of 60,000 people, 30,000 people, 6,000 people, and not making anything out of it. Partly because they're not very good at sales and marketing. But partly because the engagement's so low. So low. You may have a group of 1,000 people. So now, let's say if you had a group of 1,000 people, how many of those people, how many people have you had to ask to get 1,000 in your group? 3,000 people? 5,000 people? Ooh, that's a lot. And out of those 1,000 people that are in the group right now, how many people see the posts? You see, you are in Facebook groups right now, and you can't even remember the name of them. Oh, I remember being in that group once. What was that about? That's how the vast majority of people, I'll rephrase that, that's what the vast majority of people are experiencing in your group. If you have one, or if you propose to have one, that's what it's going to be. Oh, I remember being in that one day. What's this about? Oh, I'll delete it. And why do we need to go out there and speak to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 7,000 people? Send those invitations out to get 1,000 people into the group. What a dumb way. Because if those people want to join your group because they have a problem, seek a solution, what are you going to do? Stick them in your group and hope that they contact you? I mean, they're already saying, hey, look, I've got an issue. That's what I'm in this group for. Okay, so when you just speak to them, say, look, can we have a chat about this? Do you need any help? Are you looking for a coach? You're looking for a mentor, looking for a guide, looking for a healer, you're looking to pay for transformational change. It takes the same amount of time up. So why are we building these groups when there are groups out there already that you belong in? And you can create great content for those groups, and you don't have to advertise. I'm in some lovely groups. I'm going to spend my time building a group up, wasting that time. No. Of course, in each of those groups, there's always a figurehead. Doesn't mean that everybody's going to buy from that figurehead. And I don't need to advertise. In fact, I believe I have a competitive advantage over those figureheads because those figureheads tend to be the only one advertising. Most people don't really advertise. Most people don't really want go on Facebook to look to buy from Facebook. Most people go on Facebook just to pass some time. So are they in a passive thinking mode right now? Or an intentional mode to go out and buy? So when I write, sometimes I'll set the world straight. Sometimes I'll just give out a really good piece of advice. Sometimes I'll ask questions and comment on other people's posts. But I have more time to think about that, and I have more time to activate doing it because I don't have to create my own group. You see, if you've got a group out there that you're involved in, we'll call it Group ABC. The owners of that group are actively growing their group. They're finding people for you. Now, if it's one of those groups that doesn't post your posts, I just leave it. I wouldn't be in there. I'd go in another group. I'm not trying to steal clients from anybody. I don't believe in that. Poaching clients. It's a free world. Customers can come and go. It's their choice. But you can go in somebody else's group right now, make a wonderful, lovely, beautiful post in there that resonates with people. People will start contacting you. Damn. and the owner of that group is actually actively building their group, and yet more people are seeing you. Isn't that cool? So going out there, growing your own Facebook group, do you really need to? Do you really want to invest that time? Do you want to really invest those resources? And you know full well that when you are the group owner of that group and you've got 1,000 people in there, don't think they're all looking at you. They're not. The algorithm's so low, you only get a few people that will be receiving the information that you send to them. You might be thinking, yes, but David, I get their email addresses. Yeah, you might get their email addresses, but it's not double opt-in. It's only single opt-in, and that's not really good for email health. What I mean by that is all these big emailing houses out there, the autoresponding houses like MailerChimp, Aweber, Contacts, whatever they're called, there's thousands of them. They don't want you manually adding in people. Why? Because the ones that are manually added, they're the emails that are more likely to go to the junk folders. And then you've got Yahoo, Hotmail, Gmail, and all the others. Okay, we're getting all these emails from this particular email address, yours. They keep going in, and they know where the emails go. They know where, if the emails are more like if your email is going to junk or not. Why? Because they see where your other emails go. David at Going Beyond the Illusion. Oh, right, okay. They might not know that he's that I've got, I don't know, let's say 10,000 person email list, but they'll know as a rating if my emails tend to go into junk or not. And emails go in junk on single opt-ins, and single opt-in is when someone gives you their email address and you manually input it. That's a version of it. We want double opt-ins where you send them an email and they click on the email to say, yes, I want more of this, but you can't do that in the way that you're doing it. So they're my primary arguments for the reasons why why life coaches should not use, my primary arguments for life coaches not to use Facebook groups are the time it takes to build a Facebook group. You can spend that time speaking to real people. The algorithm is terrible for you. Terrible. The 1,000 people that are in that group, only a small fraction will see your content. By the time you got somebody into the group, they could be buying elsewhere. You're already in Facebook groups yourself. You can't even remember the name of them. Your clients are going to be exactly the same. If they're not willing to give you $1 a day for a paid group, don't expect them to pay you $500, $1,000, or $5,000 to create a free Facebook group. You've got to be exceptionally good in sales, exceptionally good in marketing. You've got to have a real handle on your business. You've got to be a leader. You've got to be transforming people right now. And if you want the algorithm to work for you, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to bring a ton of people with you who are not on Facebook already into that group. Because then Facebook goes, whoa, this girl's important. Right. So there we have it. If you found this interesting, if you found it eye-opening, please feel free to contact me, David at goingbeyondtheillusion.com. And I'm David Poole, and I'm from Going Beyond the Illusion. And hopefully I've taken you through a few illusions today. See you soon.